Hi, welcome back, guys. This is your friend the Welcome to Fanfics World back with amazing fanfiction. This is a series of What If Deku the final fight against Shigaraki. Now, before starting, please give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. If you want more videos like this, now let's get into Fanic. A team of 4 villains dash away, holding many jewels and other goodies from their recent job. The leader laughs. Great haul, boys, he says. This will make us a lot of money. And no stupid pro heroes are going to stop us, says one of the minions until he gets propelled into a light pole, knocking him out. What the hell, says one of the others. So, I go walking for one day and find a group of villains trying to cause trouble. The villains shake in fear at the sound of the voice. They turn around, see a terrifying sight. Cues My Hero One's Justice battle theme 4. Before them was a man with green hair and eyes. He wore a green jumpsuit with white gloves and boots, a silver respirator with 8 holes, and a red belt. He also wore a red cape. The villains shook in fear. It's him, says Minion 3. The #1 pro hero, Deku. We're so dead, says Minion 2. The boss growls as he grabs a gun. Quit gawking and shoot him. The villains fire their weapons at the pro hero, who dashes around, avoiding them. He's too fast, says Minion 2 before Deku throws a roundhouse kick at his face, sending him into a building. Crap, says Minion 3 as Deku aims his fingers at him. Delaware smash. He flicks him into the same building, leaving a crater. Good thing this building was scheduled for demolition anyway. He looks at the boss, who tries to pull the trigger, only to hear a click. Oh no, he says as Deku powers up for one final attack. Wait, no. 5% Detroit smash. He punches the boss into the nearby wall. Disgusting how villains continue to plague the society. He hears some loud cheering. Cue My Hero Academia OST, All Might's theme. He turns around to see a bunch of civilians clapping and cheering for him. He just defeated those villains in about 5 minutes, says one onlooker. Deku strikes a heroic pose. Fear not, everyone. Why? Because I am here. Oh my God, he's so handsome and strong, says a girl as she and her girlfriend squeal in excitement. When I grow up, I want to be like him, says a young boy holding a Deku action figure. The #1 hero smiles as he signs an autograph for the kid. What's your name, kid, he asks. Yuki Kenshin. The boy says, Yuki, huh? A good name. Deku gives him the autograph. Keep on reaching for that dream. That's what I did when I was in your shoes. The #1 hero dashes away as people chant his name. Deku, 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 Deku. He smiles. I've finally done it, All Might. I can save people and put a smile on their faces. A couple kilometers away. Train to Kamino. Cue JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Diamond is Unbreakable OST, a lurking evil. On the train, a figure in a hoodie sits, mixed with other people. He had pale skin, the area around his eyes were wrinkled, and his hair was light blue. This man was Tomura Shigaraki. His red eyes looked at the TV. Seeing the news about Deku's heroic deed, he starts scratching his neck. Izuku Midoriya, a.k.a. Deku, the new #1 hero. He's been a pain in my ass ever since the USJ incident. Suddenly, he feels something on his knee and looks to see a girl talking to her boyfriend, her bag resting on his leg. So my dad has been so annoying as of lately. He thinks I spend too much time with you, says the girl. He should definitely chill out, he says. I know, right? That's I'm moving into your house. Shigaraki slides a bag off his leg, alerting the girl. Hey, creep, why are you touching my bag? Something wrong? Asks the boyfriend. Nothing, just a complete weirdo, she says. Tomura starts to scratch his neck a bit faster. The bus reaches a stop. We're here, the boyfriend says as they get off the train. Suddenly, Shigaraki bumps into his shoulder, dropping his bag. Ow! Hey, dumbass, watch where you're going. The couple begins to walk away. You saw how he was scratching his neck? Ha! What a creep. Shigaraki begins to smile evilly. Master, time to test out the new gift you left for me, he says to himself, following the couple. Deku's apartment. Cue Bleach OST, here to stay. Izuku walks to his apartment. He opens the door and walks in. I'm back, he calls out. He looks to see his two precious women, his girlfriend Ochako Uraraka and their adopted daughter Eri. Eri's rewind quirk allows her to restore people back to their normal forms. She used it to help Deku in her fight with Overhaul when he was still a student. Welcome back, Deku, says Ochako. Welcome back, Papa. Aries is giving him a big hug. Deku smiles as he returns a hug and kisses Ochako's cheek. How are you guys doing? Good. By the way, you got a letter from Uncle Ida. Eri gives him the letter, which he reads. Oh, nice. He wants us to come to a Class 1A reunion. Everyone's going to be there. Nice, it'll be fun, says Ochako. Random apartment. Cute JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Diamond is unbreakable OSD killer. The couple from the train station walk into their apartment. The girl smiles. So, Ichika said her boyfriend got her some new earrings. You should definitely try to get me some. The boyfriend chuckles. Next time, he says as he shuts the door, only to have it get stopped by Shigaraki, who walks in. The hell are you doing here? Get out. The villain walks forward and touches his forehead, causing him to rapidly decay before exploding. I guess you don't have any quirks. What's your name? He asks as the girl falls on the ground in a daze. He points to his neck, adorned with scratch marks. Red, isn't it? When I get angry or annoyed, it itches a ton. I believe I asked for your name. My boyfriend. W, what did you do, Dash? Don't ask a question with a question. Shigaraki snaps as he pokes her forehead. Didn't they tell you that in school? I'm asking for your name. Ayakari. Ayakari, huh? Nice name. Araki, I have a request. Would you mind scratching this weirdo's neck? It would make me so happy. Akari proceeds to softly scratch his neck. Not too hard now. Please, help, she says, sobbing. Forgive me. Forgive you? Now, wait a minute. I'm not mad. I love doing this kind of stuff. I was born with this destiny. By the way, I heard you asking your boyfriend for some new earrings. Here, he left these for you as a present. She looks to see her boyfriend's ears hooked to hers. H, she screams in terror. Araki, you have such wonderful hands. Shigaraki touches Araki with all 5 fingers, causing her to disintegrate, except for her hands. Don't worry, I'll put them to great use. Deku and his 2 girls get ready for the party. Deku wears a white t-shirt and green pants. Ochako wears a pink blouse and white shorts, and Eri wears a blue dress. Ready, Eri? Asks Deku. Ready, Papa, she says with a smile. The group proceeds to walk to location, to where they meet their friend Tenya Ida and his girlfriend Mei Hatsum. He waves over to them. Midoriya, Uraraka, Eri. So nice of you to come, he says. Nice to see you again, Ida, says Uraraka. You too, Hatsum. Heya, says the pink-haired scientist. The group walks in to see their friends. Cues Naruto OSD Afternoon of Konoha. Deku smiles to see most of his friends. They look and waves. Hey, Midoriya, says Mina. Nice of you to come, says Aijiro. Thanks, Kirishima. Ashido. So, how does it feel to be number 1? Says Denki. The number 1 hero smiles. Like $1,000,000, number 4. The electricity user had recently improved his quirk, minimizing his risk of burning out. It's because of this, Denki Kaminari became the number 4 pro hero. Yo, Kaminari, Jiraiya's about to sing, calls out Zero. Denki turns around to see his girlfriend Kyuka Jiraiya holding an electric guitar. Tsu, cue the music, she calls out with a smile. You got it, Ribbit? The frog girl says with a thumbs up. She presses a button, and the song plays. Cues Purple Haze by Jimi Hendrix. Jiraiya starts to strum her guitar to the beat of the song. She winks to Denki before signing. Purple Haze was in my brain. Lately things don't seem the same. Acting funny, but I don't know why. Excuse me while I kiss the sky. Purple haze all around. Don't know if I'm coming up or down. Am I happy or in misery? Whatever it is, that girl put a spell on me. Purple haze was in my eyes. Don't know if it's day or night. You've got me blowing my mind. Is it tomorrow or just the end of time? After she sings, the others clap for her. Mineta looks to Kaminari. You got a good one, Denki. The bald-haired midget says, Hell yeah, I did, he says as he steps up on the stage. Jiraiya gives him the microphone. Knocked him dead, jamming way. She says give him a kiss on the cheek before stepping off the stage. Kaminari chooses his song and hits play. Cues Core of the Crimson King by King Crimson. As the song plays, Jiraiya smiles as she knew this was one of her favorite songs. Kaminari smiles as the lyrics appear. The rusted chains of prison moons are shattered by the sun. I walk a road, horizons change. The tournament's begun. The purple piper plays his tune. The choirs softly sing. 3 lullabies in an ancient tongue for the court of the Crimson King. The keeper of the city keys put shutters on the dreams. I wait outside the pilgrim's door with insufficient schemes. The Black Queen chants. The funeral march. The cracked brass bells will ring to summon back the Fire Witch to the court of the Crimson King. After Kaminari finishes, everyone claps as he bows. Jiraiya smirks as her boyfriend walks down. She gives him a kiss. Thanks, babe, he says with a smile. The door opens, earning everyone's attention. They look to see the number 2 hero Shoto Todoroki and his fiancée Momo Yairozu. Todoroki, Yao Momo. Nice to see you, says Deku. The half-hot, half-cold user smiles as he gives his rival a fist bump. Bakugo, who is hanging at the other table drinking punch, scoffs. So Icy Hot and Ponytail showed up, he says. What took you so long? The two look at the explosive hero. If you must know, Bakugo, we had some extra work to do, says Momo. I apologize for being late. Bakugo shrugs. Hey, Deku, I challenge you to an arm wrestling match, and you better not use your quirk. The number 1 hero looks to his old friend. You sure you want to do this, Kakin? He says with a smile. I could beat you. Bakugo smirks. You could try, he says as he get ready. Undisclosed location. Cues JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. All-Star Battle OST. Enrico Pucci's theme, Dawn of Destiny. Shigaraki walks into the bar, where his group awaits. The group consisted of Himiko, Toga, Dabi, Mr. Compress, Twice, and Spinner. Well, the gang's all here, he says with his trademark smile. Now, shall we go wreak havoc? Oh, I can't wait to suck up some more blood, Toga says, holding her knife. Easy, psycho, says Dabi, annoyed by the girl's excitement. Don't be so hasty. Time to carry on Stain's legacy, says Spinner. All right, let's do this. Nah, too much work, says Twice, contradicting himself. Time to show off some of my new tricks, says Mr. Compress. Now, the game begins, says Shigaraki as he leads him out. Class 1A reunion. Cues Boku no Hero Academia OST, My Hero Academia. Deku and Bakugo get ready for their arm wrestling match. Everyone gathers, excited to see the outcome. Oh man, this is going to be intense, says Kaminari. Who do we bet on? Kaminari. Betting is not the hero thing to do, scolds Ida. Although, I put my money on Midoriya. I think Bakugo has it, says Kirishima. Everyone places their bets. On Deku's side was Ochako, Eri, Ida, Todoroki, Momo, Kaminari, Jiraiya, Tsuyu Aoyama, and Mina. For Bakugo, it was Kirishima, Siro, Mineta, and Sato. Tokoyami, Koda, and Hagakure just wanted to see the match. Momo moderates the match. Ready, set, Gyo. The two rivals fight as they move against the other's will. Deku starts to push him over, but Bakugo moves his hand. Come on, Bakugo. You have him. Cheers, Kirishima. Don't lose Midoriya, says Todoroki in an encouraging voice. Deku starts to push back. I'll admit, you've gotten stronger. Deku, I can see why All Might chose you. But still, it won't be enough to beat me, says Bakugo as he pushes Deku's hand closer to the other side. Same to you, Kakin. That's why I won't lose this time. Suddenly, in one quick motion, Deku pushes his hand to the other side, winning the match. Papa won, says Eri with a smile. Deku holds out his hand. Good fight, my friend, he says. Bakugo sighs before smiling. Next time, you won't be so lucky, says the explosion hero, shaking his hand. Even though he couldn't stand Deku, he still had some respect for him. The group of pro heroes chat and laugh. except for Bakugo, who was just acting like his usual tsundere self. Kaminari was entertaining everyone with his jokes, making everyone laugh. Deku and Todoroki were talking with their respective girlfriends next to them. "So, Todoroki, what does it feel like being the number 2 hero?" asks Midoriya. Shoto smiles. "It feels like I am no longer bound by my father's ambitions," he says. "I am free to choose my place." Ever since UA, Todoroki would only use his ice, try to reject his father Endeavor's power. Deku then helped him realize it was his own power, making him accept the flames. Although he hasn't forgiven him, he views him as a good hero. "Midoriya, you helped me accept this power. For that, I am grateful that you are my rival." He and Deku have fought on 2 occasions. Their first UA Sports Festival, which Todoroki won, and a couple years ago at their most recent festival when Deku won. "You helped me too, Todoroki. You inspire me to go beyond my weaknesses and try to push forward." Ochako and Momo look on. "They become very strong," says Ochako. "They have. I regret counting Deku out during the initial days at UA." Momo says, originally, she didn't have a high opinion of Midoriya, but she never looked down on him. Throughout the times, she had heard of his triumphs, USJ, Stain, Todoroki. She then began to respect the young hero. "Papa and Uncle Shoto are awesome," says Eri with a smile. Kamino Prefecture cues JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Golden Wind OST, Black Sabbath. The group of villains walk down the street in their disguises. Tomura smirks as he notices everyone on the street happy. "They have no idea how I'm going to enjoy slaughtering them," he says in his head. "I will carry out my master's will, and then destroy that pesky Izuku Midoriya." "So, Shigaraki," asks Spinner, "how shall we carry out Stain's ambitions today?" The villain starts to scratch his neck in irritation. "This lizard prick is pissing me off," he says in his head. "Stain this, Stain that. That stupid hero killer has been a thorn in my side since Hosu." Shigaraki hated Stain after he foiled his attempts during the Hosu incident, where he sent Nomus to wreak havoc on the city. However, the pro-heroes and Stain got more recognition, invoking his anger. He looks to Spinner with a smile. "There's one guy I need to get rid of," Shigaraki says. "We're going to make sure that the heroes know that we're back." "Oh, can I suck some blood?" says Toga with a crazy smile. Shigaraki looks to the crazy girl. "You can suck up all the blood you want." Toga squeals in delight. "Thanks, Tomura-kun," she says, hugging him. "You really made my day." "Heh, they're so easy to manipulate. After all this is done, I can cut some loose ends." The group starts to approach the place. "Now, let's burn this place to ground," says Dabi, his hand lit with blue flames. End of reunion. Cues Naruto Shippuden OST, Yamagasumi Mountain Haze. The group waves goodbye to each other as they head home. Eri holds the hands of Ochako and Deku. "Wasn't that a lot of fun, Eri?" asks Ochako. The white-haired girl smiles. "It was very fun," she says. "Seeing all of you and Papa's friends again was very nice." "Yes, it was," says Deku. "Getting to arm wrestle Kakin was awesome." "You did great, Deku," says Ochako, giving him a peck on the cheek. The number 1 hero starts to blush. "You always win, no matter what obstacle." "She's right, Papa," says Eri. Deku smiles. "Thanks, girls. You're the best thing that ever happened to me." Underground safe. Cue My Hero Academia villain theme. A lone man hides in the underground safe, worried after what he'd just seen. He starts to hyperventilate as he hears screaming and slashing resound throughout the entire building. "I can't go out there. They'll kill me. I'm better off staying in here." Outside, Tomura stands watching the carnage's group is committing. "Yes, kill them all," he says with an evil smile. Dabi looks to one guy. "Please, don't hurt me. I have a family," he begs. The villain is about to burn him to a crisp until Spinner throws a knife at his cheek. "What's the meaning of that, Spinner?" Dabi says with an annoyed look. "Dabi, this isn't right. This isn't the way Stain would work." The lizard man says with disgusted look. The cremation villain sighs. "Are you seriously growing soft?" "Dabi, he's right," says Toga with a sad look. "This would rarely happen, as she was usually sadistic. This isn't what Mr. Staney would want. Tomura scoffs. Well, if that's how you feel, then you can die with these pathetic losers, he yells before kicking Toga into a wall. Gak! Toga calls out Spinner before Dabi launches a blast of fire at his chest, knocking him against the wall. Pathetic, he says as the lizard man is rendered unconscious. Tomura grabs Toga by her hair, using only 4 fingers. You think that your pathetic stain is the best. No, I'm the best. The young girl begins to sob. You will never be as good as Mr. Staney. Tomura, enraged by her words, punches her in the face, knocking her out. Dabi, burn this place to the ground. Dabi smirks. You don't have to tell me twice, he says as his flames rush around everywhere. Spinner's eyes flutter open to see the 2 villains walk away until he hears a cry for help. He looks to see a family surrounded by flames, a piece of concrete about to crack and fall on top of them. The lizard man slowly stands up and begins to rush over. The concrete breaks away as Spinner jumps in, shielding them. The hard slab breaks on his back, cracking his spine. He winces as he looks to Toga's unconscious body, tears in his eyes. I'm sorry, Toga, he says in his head. Looks like we're going to die here. The flames begin to rage wildly as the place burns down. Deku and Ochako wake up as sunlight pours into their bedroom through the blinds. The 9th user one for all kisses his girlfriend as they head downstairs. Eri's sitting on the couch. Morning, Papa. Morning, Mama, says a white-haired girl with a smile that brightened their day even more. Morning, Eri, says Ochako. You ready for breakfast? She nods. Deku and Ochako got started on breakfast, making pancakes, bacon, and orange juice. Eri sits at the table with wide eyes. This looks good. She claps her hand. Thanks for food. The group starts to eat their breakfast, enjoying each other's company. After they finish their food, Deku gets a call. Who is it, Papa? Asks Eri in wonder. It's Todoroki. I wonder what's up. He answers the phone. Hey, Todoroki. What is it? Midoriya, we have an issue, he says. I need you to meet me at the address I am about to text you. Okay, I'll be there, Deku says as he hangs up. Sorry, girls. Duty calls. Have a great day, Papa, says Eri as she kisses Deku's cheek. You too, he says as he kisses Uraraka and Eri before leaving in his hero costume. League of Villains HQ cues Janine Tyson OSD bore. Tomura sits at his bar with Dabi. They both cackle at the destruction they caused. Now all those pathetic heroes will know of our return, says the Decay user. And those 2 idiots Spinner and Toga can watch from the deepest depths of hell, says Dabi. All they cared about was Stain's legacy. Well, I say forget him. He failed. We won't. Correct, Dabi. But first we need some more to join us, says Shigakari with an evil smile. You have some in mind? I have quite a few. Mr. Compress, for instance. And the others are rumored to be so deadly, even All Might had trouble holding them back. So you think they'll give Midoriya a lot of trouble? Even better, they might kill that pest, says Shigaraki with a twisted smile. All the better, says Dabi as he smirks. Burn down building. Q's JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Diamond is Unbreakable OST. The Stardust Man appears. Deku arrives at the burnt building, where Shoto and Kaminari are conversing with the cops. The number 2 and number 4 heroes see their friend and wave to him. Hey, Deku, over here, says Kaminari. Hey, Kaminari. So, what happened? Asks the number 1 hero. Last night, this building was burnt down. Everyone inside went with it, says Todoroki. Do you think it was a villain's quirk or just some random accident? Asks Deku. We can't be sure. The building was burned from the inside, so both are possible, says Kaminari. Suddenly, they see some rocks rumble and hear pain groans. Someone's still alive, says one of the cops. Let's over there and help them, says Deku. The trio help lift the rocks with the cops. After removing them, they see a shocking sight. Q's Bleach OST number 7, Creeping Shadows. It can't be, says Kaminari. What is he doing here? Says Shoto. They were looking at Spinner, who was guarding the family of 3. He's with the League of Villains. Deku looks over to see Toga's body under some rocks. He rushes over to check her pulse. "This one's still alive," he calls out. Todoroki grabs Spinner by his collar. "Were you the one who did this?" The lizard man looks into the number 2 hero's eyes. "It wasn't me," he says weak. "Don't give me that." Shoto yells, "You were part of the League of Villains. You have been responsible for so many incidents." "Stop." Everyone looks to the young boy, who stand up. "He saved me and my mommy and daddy. Him and the girl." Kaminari looks with shock. "How can this be?" the electricity user says in shock. They hear sobbing to see Toga awaken. "Spinny, you're okay," she says as she rushes and hugs him. "Toga, you're alive," he says, returning the hug. The cops surround them. "Shuichi, Spinner, Iguchi, and Himiko, Toga, you are hereby under arrest for destruction of property and working with a League of Villains. Come quietly, or we will use force." Spinner looks down in shame as he drops his weapons and raises his hands, much to everyone's shock. Toga does the same as the cops handcuff them. "They're turning themselves in," says Kaminari. "Why would they?" Maybe I should talk to them at the station," says Deku. He walks up to the chief and talks to him. "Understood. When we get back, you may talk to them," he says. Spinner and Toga are guided out of the police vehicle as the guards send them to checking. After that, they send them to solitary confinement, putting them both in straitjackets and muzzles before locking them in their rooms. Spinner looks to the ceiling. Never thought I would willingly go to prison," he says. 15 minutes later, a guard shows up. "All right, get moving. You have a visitor," says the guard as he guides the lizard man out of his cell to the visitor room, where Toga sits too. "Toga, why are you here?" he asks. "I was called up." "You too." Spinner nods as they see a familiar face appear. Deku himself. "It's you, Izuku Midoriya. Or should I call you Deku?" "I have no preference," says Deku as he sits. "But what I want to know is what happened at that building." Toga and Spinner looked at each other and nod. "Shigaraki told us that it was a heinous company, conducting experiments on people," says Spinner. "He said it would have to be destroyed. But then I realized this company was a hero benefactor company that takes donations from heroes so that other people can be helped. The violence was starting to make us sick, so we chose a rebel against Tomura," says Toga. "It wouldn't be what Mr. Staney would want." Izuku looked at the two villains with pity. These two risked their lives to try and stop Shigaraki and even protected a family from getting crushed, he says in his head. They deserve to have a chance at redemption. He walks over to the chief and tells him the story. The chief nods as he speaks into his calm. Himiko, Toga, and Shuichi Iguchi are innocent regarding the building. They are to be released. The guards release Toga and Spinner as they walk out with Deku. Cues Naruto Shippuden OST, Atsasimi, man of the world. "Why did you do this, Midoriya? What is it that makes you believe in us?" Spinner asks. "You have a look in your eyes, a look of guilt and pensiveness." Deku says, "Which is why I believe in your potential as heroes." Toga starts to cry as she hugs the number 1 hero. "Oh, thank you, Izuku-kun. I'm sorry for all I did to you and the others. Please forgive me." Deku returns a hug. "It's okay, Toga. You didn't know any better. Tomura just used you." He grits his teeth as he looks to the city. "I'll make sure he doesn't get away with all the people he's murdered. I became the number 1 hero to save people like All Might did, and that's what I intend to do." Spinner looks to the number 1 hero. "Izuku Midoriya, you are a really great person. I am in your debt," he says to himself. Undisclosed location. A group of cops walk down the streets in their disguises and arrive at an underground passage. They had been hearing about reports of missing people around this area. They ventured deep in to find a wall with carvings of men embedded in it. "What's up with these carvings?" asks one cop as he walks to get closer to the carvings. He puts his hand on them. "Be careful. I have a bad feeling about this," one of his friends says. The cop inspects the wall and notices a hole in its forehead. "What's this?" He looks into it before a metal horn stabs him through the head. The others recoil in fear. "What the hell? Those aren't carvings. They're villains." Cues JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Battle Tendency OST, Awaken Pillar Man theme. The figure's eyes open as he stares at the cops. They recoil in fear. Quick! Pistols ready, yells the leader. The figure busts out a wall in a menacing manner before cracking his neck. You pigs think you can stop us? Don't make me laugh, he says as another figure breaks out of the wall. Now die, the new villain says nonchalantly as he dashes around the cops. Suddenly, their hands end up getting stuck together. Our hands. They're stuck together. The leader looks in fear until the original villain stabs him through the head with his finger. The cops' bodies are suddenly sucked clean of all organs and fluids, leaving them as flat pieces of skin on the ground. The villain walks up to the wall and puts his hands on it. Now arise, my masters. Two other figures break free from a wall and stand. Time to get revenge, says one with wavy purple hair. Toga and Spinner's new hideout. Q's Man in the Mirror by Michael Jackson. Deku finds Toga and Spinner a new hideout to lay low. Spinner goes to his room and looks in the mirror. What have I become? He says to himself. I want to be like Stain so much, I forgot what he truly fought for. In Toga's room, she looks into her mirror. I thought that this destruction was fun, but I was so wrong. Innocent people get hurt. Villains laugh at their expense. She grits her teeth. How could I have been so blind? Both Spinner and Toga look up. It's time to make a change. Starting today, I'm going to become a hero. The four figures had split up, searching for a certain person. One of the leaders walks alone to see a puppy walking near him. The poor thing looked tired and exhausted. It looked to the man, whimpering. The man starts to walk away from the dog, which starts to despondently walk away. It starts to cross the street until it sees a car with two men driving it while drinking sake. The car was a couple meters away from hitting it. The man suddenly grows a curved blade from his arm, which suddenly moves on its own. The car swerves away, just missing the puppy. Hey man, drive the car right. One guy says drunk before looking at his friend's hands. Hey, what happened to your arms, man? The friend looks to see his hand stuck to the steering wheel while cut from his arms. What the? My hands. The car hit a curve, causing it to flip over and crash in a fiery explosion. The leader continues his trek. Now to find Shigaraki. Before we were sealed away, Tomura made a promise that he would work with us, and we will make the heroes pay. Soon, they will feel the power of the four great demons. Suddenly, he sees a guy standing in front of him. The man had light blue hair and a hood. The leader knew this man. There's no doubt. It is you, Tomura Shigaraki. Welcome back, Aloser, Shigaraki says with a smile. I was just coming to see you. I'm putting together a new team. Aloser smiles. When do we start? Next morning, Denki in Jairu's apartment. Q's Tender Lover by Babyface. Denki wakes up to see his beautiful girlfriend sleeping next to him. She was wearing a black tank top and purple shorts that accentuated her sexy backside. The electricity user kisses her forehead before he heads downstairs to make breakfast. Make the best breakfast for the best girlfriend ever, he says as he starts by cooking up some pancakes. He then grabs some bacon and fries it up. He then hears some chuckling. Never knew you could cook so awesomely, says Jairu as she watches from behind. Denki smiles. Anything for my sexy girlfriend. The earphone jackrocker blushes. She had always been self-aware of her body, feeling that she wasn't sexy enough, such as how her breasts weren't as big as Momo's. But Denki thought she was great the way she was and made her feel great. You really make me feel good. Jamming way, she says as her boyfriend brings the food to the table. Anything for my rocker girl. They start to dig in and enjoy their day. Denki looks at his girl. I'll ask her later today, he says in his head. Tomura's bass cues Mortal Kombat 2011 theme of Shao Kahn by Shinrei. Tomura smiles as his four new subordinates stand before him. Welcome back, my friends, he says. Shall we discuss the details of the plan to make all heroes pay? What do you have in mind, Shigaraki? Asks Aloser. The Decay user activates a holographic projection of Deku. This kid is Izuku Midoriya, the new #1 hero. He's All Might's apprentice. I want to make sure he's destroyed, both physically and mentally. I see. Then we go after the people he cares about, says the second-in-command Belial. His friends, his family. A great idea, says Dabi as his smile grows bigger. Then the heroes will bow to us. Later that night, Denki in Jairu's apartment. Cues go by Prince. Jairu rests on the couch, watching TV. Denki went into the other room to prepare a present. He takes a deep breath. Here goes, he says as he walks into the living room with a small box in his hand. The earphone jack rocker sees him walk in. What's up, jamming way? She asks in curiosity until she sees the box. Is he? She wonders in her head. Kyoka, he says, catching her off guard. He rarely uses her first name only when he's about to do something sincere. Ever since UA, I've had a huge crush on you. Sure, you might have made fun of me, but it was entertaining. What are you trying to say, Denki? She asks in bewilderment. Kaminari opens a box to reveal a ring with an amethyst in the center. Kyoka Jairu will be the Beyoncé to my Jay-Z. Jairu looks with tears of happiness in her eyes as she covers her mouth. She hugs her new fiancé. Yes, I will marry you, she says as she gives him a kiss. She pulls away with a smirk. Now, why don't you and me head to the bedroom and have some fun? Let's do it. Denki says as they go to bedroom. The electricity user lies on the bed shirtless as Kyoka takes off hers, revealing a sexy purple bra. She seductively crawls on the bed. I love you, Denki-kun, she says as she undoes her bra. I love you too, Jairu-chan, he says as she pulls off his pants to reveal his yellow boxers that had a bulge in the middle. Denki and Jairu walk into their favorite Italian restaurant, the music playing authentic Italian music to fit the atmosphere. Jairu wore a purple dress and matching high heels, while Denki wore a black tux and dress shoes. The waiter guides him to their seat. Wow, Denki, you really know how to treat a lady, says the earphone girl. Anything for my fiancé, he says, kissing her hand. One guy looking on is disgusted. Come on, did that mozzarella cheese ball. Just say that. It's so sweet my teeth feel like they're going fallout. Kaminari ignores a heckler and continues to flirt with his new fiancé. Your lipstick looks beautiful, Jairu. And your perfume, is it Chanel? So insightful, she says before kissing him. The heckler continues to scold. That's just ridiculous. How can any modern woman fall for such an obvious act? Disgusting. He looks to his plate of black spaghetti and smirks. This'll stick to that repugnant Casanova's face. He twirls some on his fork before slinging it towards Denki. Without looking, the number 4 hero grabs his fork and catches the spaghetti before running an electric current through it. The noodles fly back and wrap around the heckler's face, shocking him. Now, shall we enjoy our meal? Says Denki. Oh, yes, say Jairu as their food is brought to them. After the meal, a waiter comes by. Excuse me, but there's a phone call for you, Mr. Denki Kaminari. Mamma mia, I guess it can't be helped. He walks over the phone and answers it. Denki Kaminari. May I ask who this is? Denki, it's me, Deku. Oh, hey man, what's up? I'm sorry to interrupt your date with Jairu, but there's a crime scene we need to investigate tonight. All right, I'll see you later tonight, dude. Kaminari says before hanging up. League of Villains headquarters. Q's Akame Ga Kill OST Murasame. Belial and Aloser stand over the city, looking down to the people. These filth don't even know what is coming, says Aloser. They'll be wiped out in the blink of an eye, says the second-in-command as one of their comrades kneels. Dumos, we have a mission for you. They turn to see a girl with 4 arms and a crown with horns on it. What is my mission, masters? She asks in a seductive tone. Head back over to where we were sealed. I have a feeling others will be looking for us, says Aloser. Your wish is my command, says Dumos as she heads out. Now, we wait and see what happens, says the leader. Do you think Dumos will be able to fight them? Asks Belial. Not in the slightest. All she is good for is being fodder, says Aloser. But she should give them a good fight. Crime scene cues Janine Tyson OSD consideration. Denki arrives at the meeting place. He sees Deku and Todoroki waiting for him. Hey guys, what's up, he asks. It's down here. say Deku pointing to the underground entrance. What the heck is that? He asks in curiosity. We don't know yet, but it could be dangerous. They walk down the steps to a dark room. Todoroki, can we get some light? Asks Denki. The number 2 pro hero love lights his hands on fire, illuminating the entire room. They then look in shock as they see the floor littered with cops, drained to their insides and left as lifeless bags of skin. They then notice the wall, with 4 craters in them. Something or someone burst from the wall and sucked these guys dry, says Todoroki. But what? Asks Deku. Suddenly, they begin to hear footsteps. Crap, they're coming. The 3 hide behind a pillar as Dumos marches down. Cues JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Battle Tendency OST propaganda. I know you are here, she says as she looks around. Come out now, and I'll make your death quick and painless. The heroes continue to hide until the female demon shatters the column they were hiding behind with a single punch. They jump back ABD, prepare to fight. Holy crap, she destroyed it with just 1 punch, says Denki. Must be her quirk, says Deku as he begins to glow green. So you're Izuku Midoriya, heir to All Might? I must say, you seem like you have a lot of potential. However, you must die for Lord Alosa's plans. Deku lunges at him. Take this. 5% Detroit Smash. He punches at the demon, who ends up blocking with a set of ribs protruding from her body. What the? He jumps back. So her quirk isn't strength, says Denki. Let's try this. He shoots a series of lightning bolts at her. Dumo smirks before contorting her body to avoid the attack. She dodged my lightning? I get it now. Her quirk is that she can manipulate her body structure at will, says Todoroki. Very good, but knowing my ability won't help you defeat me, says Dumos as she poses dramatically. Hey guys, hope you're enjoying your Mother's Day. Give thanks to the women who make our lives meaningful. Now for the next chapter of Tomura's revenge. Dumos has returned to the secret underground cavern where they were sealed. She runs into Deku, Todoroki, and Kaminari, who are ready to fight her. Will the heroes be able to defeat her, or will they fall to her power? Let's get into it. Intro. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Battle Tendency OP Bloody Stream. After intro, Underground Cavern. Cues BlazBlue Chrono Phantasma OST Howling Moon. Todoroki charges forward with an ice kick towards Dumos, who uses her rib blades attack to counter the strike, only to have her arm freeze. The number 2 hero smirks as he looks to his friends. Denki, you're up, he calls out to his blonde friend, who smiles. You got it. Try this. The stun gun hero points a finger gun at Dumos and fires a thin blast of lightning at Duemo's chest, sending her back a couple feet. Midoriya, do it. Deku charges his body up as he dashes forward and lands a roundhouse kick to his head. 1 for all full cowling. Shoot style, 10% St. Louis smash. The impact of the kick knocks his head to the side, breaking her neck. Got her. Dumos looks with a scowl as her head snaps back to its normal position. You guys are strong, I'll give you that. However, I'll still end up killing you, she says as she charges forward and throws a punch at Denki. Oh crap, he says as he tries to make a barrier of lightning, only to have her punch through it. Deku launches another attack, only to get batted to the side and hits a wall. Deku calls out Todoroki, only to get kicked in the chest with a force so strong he coughs up blood. Dumos then grab Denki by the throat. You're cute. I might just let you live if you become my love forever. No, I'm already engaged. Very well, then I'll just kill her in front of you and make you accept me. Denki looks with wide eyes as he sees Jairu's smiling face. Flashback. The night Denki proposed to Jiru cues JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Stardust Crusaders OST Sadness. The 2 lovers lie in B. Jairu was wearing her purple bras and panties, cuddling Denki, who was in his yellow boxers. Denki-kun, what made you love me? Jairu asks. Denki looked to his fiancée with a smile. Well, you're cute and a badass. What guy wouldn't fall for that? My Netta, the pervy classmate, had not even made one advance on her since their time at UA. The bald-headed midget wouldn't know a girlfriend if she hit him upside the head, says Denki. You're an amazing person. So you think I'm attractive? Even though my boobs aren't as big as Yaomomo's. Jiraiya was always self-conscious about the way her body looked, thinking no man would think that she was beautiful or sexy. Denki cups her chin and kisses her. Jiraiya-chan, I know so. Any man would be lucky to have you. I'll be with you forever, and I'll never betray you. And flashback, Jiraiya-chan is my best friend, and the girl who I chose to spend the rest of my life with. I will not betray her. Cues Dragon Ball Kami to Kami Hero. Kibu no Yuta, Song of Hope by Flow. Suddenly, his body is covered in lightning, making Dumos recoil and look in shock. What the hell? Denki glares at Dumos as he charges forward at supersonic speeds, dashing around the place. The demon looks around in amazement. Untiled, Denki punches her in the gut with a super fast punch. She spits up blood. Deku looks in shock. Kaminari, your body, he says in shock. Stay back, Deku. I'm about to wreck this girl, he says as he dashes forward again and unleashes a barrage of lightning-based attacks, overwhelming Dumos. She tried to contort her body out of the way, only to get countered and outsmarted. Denki's attacks start to make her body become almost like stone. What? My body, she says in shock. No way. This power. It couldn't be. Denki punches her in the face, sending her through some pillars. Now, I'm putting you out of commission, he says as he charges up a giant lightning blast. In his head, he sees Jairu's smiling face with a thumbs up. Dumos looks in despair. This can't be happening. I am Dumos, one of the 4 demon kings. I can't be beaten, she yells in outrage. Take this. Denki yells as he thrusts his hands forward, launching the attack and bathing Dumos in lightning. Her body begins to become stone. No. Lord Alasir, she calls out as her body is completely rendered inert. Todoroki and Deku stand in shock as Denki's lightning cloak dissipates. Holy crap, man, says Todoroki. You wrecked her. Well, I have gotten stronger, he says, blowing his finger. But how in the heck did you turn her into stone? Asks Deku. The number 4 hero shrugs. Your guess is as good as mine, he says as they call the cops to rendezvous with them. Villains HQ. Q's Dragon Ball Super OST Zamasu theme. Aloser and Belial sit in their quarters as their comrade arrives. He bows before them. My lords, I bring terrible news, he says. What is it, Crossel? Aloser says, Lady Dumos has been defeated and captured. Apparently, there was someone who used Raijin's gift. The other 2 look in shock. So, he's a descendant of the ones we had destroyed 20 years ago, says Belial. Doesn't matter. We'll kill him just like we did the others. Aloser says, I'll warn Shigaraki about him. What's his name? They call him Denki. Denki Kaminari. Denki Kaminari, huh? That last name seems familiar. The police met with Deku and the others and brought Duemo's inert body to their research facility. The head researcher, Sadama Kaguro, steps up to inspect the villain. Interesting. So she's been turned into this rock, like mineral after a couple of jolts of lightning. Suddenly, the statue starts to crack away, Duemo's eyes moving. Oh no, she's going to get free. One of the worried scientists steps back and stumbles into a desk. As he falls, his coat snags on the cord for the window and opens it, letting the sunlight pour in and shine on the female warrior. She hisses as her body converts back to stone. Kaguro looks in amazement. I see. That's why she's been converted into stone. He walks into the other room, where Denki, Deku, and Todoroki await to hear about Dumos. Mr. Kaguro, have you found out something? Asks Deku. The scientist smiles. We have found out their one true weakness. Mr. Kaminari, I need to run some tests on you. What? What for? He asks in wonder. Don't worry. I just need to see how your quirk works. Denki nods as he walks with Sadama. Suddenly their friends arrive. Midoriya, we heard what happened, says Ida. Is it true you fought a heinous villain? Ida, you're being too loud, says Tsu. Ida bows his head and apologizes. We did, Ida. Actually, we would have been dead had Kaminari not saved us. Everyone looks in shock. Cues Mirai Nikki Osti Yugo Kitasu Yokan English. The feeling of beginning to move. "Ha, Deku, that's rich," says Bakugo. "Ain't no way Charged Oak could do that without turning into an idiot." Jiraiya glares at the Explosion King before plugging her ear jacks into him. He screams as the sound waves resonate through his body. "What the hell?" "Shut up, Bakugo. You're just jealous 'cause Denki is stronger than you," says Jiraiya, scolding him. Everyone looked in shock as they hardly saw anyone stand up to Bakugo, except for Deku and Todoroki. Bakugo seethes. "What was that?" He growls, many explosions coming out of his hand. Ida stands in between them. "Enough. Bakugo, you shouldn't insult your fellow hero, and you definitely shouldn't threaten Girl," he says with exaggerated movements. "Shut your face for eyes." Bakugo yells as Denki and Kaguro return. "Dr. Kaguro," says Deku, "what have you found out?" Sadama smiles. "You guys might want to have a seat," he says. Villain Hideout. Cues JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Golden Wind OST. On Ultra Persona. English. Another person. Shigaraki sits at the bar with Dabi, Compress, and Twice. The Decay villain continues to scratch his neck in irritation. "Damn, those heroes are going to ruin everything," he says. Dabi looks to his boss. "What do you want us to do, boss?" he asks. Shigaraki sighs. "I guess I have no choice. I have to ask those two for help," he says. The others look in shock. "You can't be serious," says Twice. "Those monsters. We can't trust them," says Compress. "Oh, trust me. I hate this idea as much as you guys do. But I have to do this to get us more muscle. I'm bringing Amaya and Kawakasu into fray. Personally, I hate having to ask for help from filth like them, but I can't afford the heroes getting a heads up on our plan." Shigaraki walks out of the room with Dabi. "So, are we sure we can trust the other Demon Kings?" says Dabi. "After all, they already lost one of their members. Trust me, the others are way stronger than All Might could ever be. They'll do their job." Police Research Facility. Cues JoJo's Bizarre Adventure OST. Overdrive. The others look with wide eyes at what they just heard. Jiraiya looks to Denki in shock as the stun gun hero smiles sheepishly. "I'm sorry. I'm having a hard hearing this. You mean to tell me that Denki's body has traces of UV radiation inside of his cells," says the earphone jack user. "That is correct. His cells are charged with UV radiation, and with it, his quirk is enhanced. It's also the main reason he was able to defeat the villain," says Kaguro. "How so?" asks Ida, deeply intrigued. Kaguro chuckles. "You see, a couple minutes ago, that villain awoke, scaring one of the scientists. They stumbled back and fell, pulling on the cord and opening the blinds. The sun poured in and rendered her inert again. The Class 1A group looks in amazement. "I see," says Momo. "It seems like Denki's quirk might be the only way to defeat these villains." Denki looks in shock. "I'm sorry, what?" he says, surprised. He still couldn't get his head around his body's unique feature. "You see, Mr. Kaminari," says Kaguro before pointing to him. "Your quirk is the ripple of the sun, and it is the only way to save the world." Everyone looks to the electricity user. "You can do it, Denki," says Jiraiya with a smile. "We all believe in you." Jiraiya, "Guys," he says before giving off a determined smile. "I'll do it. I'll defeat the villains." Denki, Deku, and Todoroki follow Kaguro to the engineering department. They look in awe at all the new creations and gear. Kaguro smiles. "Now to defeat those villains, you'll need some new gadgets. These come to us courtesy of our new recruit," he says as Mei Hatsum appears. "Hey, you guys. Glad to see you here," she says. "I made you guys some new babies to help in your quest to defeat the villains." She guides them to her tables. "Now for Todoroki, I got you these gauntlets that'll amplify your fire with solar energy. It'll also work for your ice abilities." Shoto checks out his new gear and tests him out on a target, scorching it to almost nothing. "Nice," he says in awe. Hastrim smiles as she looks to Deku. "For you, Mr. Number 1 hero, we increase the damage your gauntlets and leg armor can do without hurting your body. They can hit with a force of 1,000 psi, even at 5%. Deku walks up to the target and punches it. The target shatters from the sheer force. Holy crap, dude, says Denki. Nice punch. Those villains won't even know what happened. Mei looks to the electricity user. Now for Denki. You'll love this one. She takes out a metal hilt. Now, imbue it with your electricity. Denki does as he's told, and the hilt grows a blade of lightning. Whoa, a lightning sword. He swings it at the target, charging it with electricity and making it explode. Badass. No one will be able to best me. The group heads out. Thanks to the gear, Hatsum, says Deku, waving goodbye. Go and kick some butt, says Mei. Also tell Ida I said hi. Will do. Streets of Mizurufu. Cues bad company by bad company. Two villains walked down the streets in their disguises. One was a girl with green hair and green eyes. She wore a long green coat with blue highlights. She was a Mai, a former surgeon who was fired for letting her patients die, although it was revealed that she did so out of sadistic tendency. The other was a girl in a tight bodysuit that covered her body except her blue eyes. She was Kawakasu, a former patient of a Mai's and her pet. Among the entire League of Villains, these two stand out as a group of monsters. That is who Amai and Kawakasu are. The surgeon looks around with a smile. These people will make great test subjects. Kawakasu, you have the camera? Kawakasu grunts and nods as she shows her the camera. Amai pets and strokes her head. Oh, good. She says ecstatic. That's a good girl. You want a treat? Kawakasu perks up and nods as her master brings out some sugar cubes. You want two? The human pet grunts 3 times. Oh, 3? Okay. She takes 3 and tosses them into the air. Kawakasu catches them all skillfully. Amai pets her again. Oh, good. That's a good girl. Now, let's go deal with some heroes, and I know how to bring them. Her body covers itself in mold. With my quirk, Green Day and yours, Oasis. Wah, NN, says Kawakasu in her usual grunting noises as she sinks into ground. Amai touches the ground as the mold starts to cover it. Now, let's enjoy the screams of pain, she says with a sick smile. Deku, Ochako, and Eri's apartment. Q's JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Diamond is Unbreakable OST. Morio in the early afternoon. Ochako starts working on dinner. She starts by turning on the stove and brings out her ingredients. This'll be good. For my favorite Deku and Eri, she says with a smile. The other two were in the other room, watching TV. Ochako smiles at the sight. He's such a good father figure for her. She resumes her cooking, throwing together some katsudon and rice. She then works on the sauce for it. Deku smells the food and smiles. Smell good, Ochako-chan, he says. It does, mommy, says Eri with a smile. Anything for my favorite people. Ochako says as she puts the finishing touches on the food. Dinner's ready. Deku and Eri rush to the table as the food is placed before them. This looks great, Ochako, says the number 1 hero as he takes a bite of his food. Delicious. It really is, mommy, says Eri with a smile. Ochako smiles back. Thanks, you too, she says as she digs into her own food. After dinner, they sit and watch some of All Might's old battles. Suddenly, they get a news report. Breaking news. Mizurufu is under siege by a deadly mold epidemic, says the reporter. The video shows a bunch of people covered in green mold and weak. We ask that civilians stay inside. Any heroes out there, please come help us. Deku looks to Ochako, who nods. He rushes and puts his costume on. Go kick some butt, Deku, she says, extending her fist. The number 1 hero smiles before touching his fist with hers. Be safe, Papa, says Eri. Deku hugs her. I'll be back, Eri, he says before heading out. Streets of Mizurufu. Q Susai no Onmyuji / Twin Star Exorcist OSD War. Sudden Decree. Deku arrives at the place to see the turmoil. He looks to one man who had some mold on his chest and rushes to help him. Don't worry. I'm here to help, he says before helping him up and guiding him to the shelter. He sees Ida rushing by and dropping off more victims. Ida! Midoriya! Nice of you to come, he says. This mold is growing out of control. It must be a villain's quirk, says Deku. Such heinous villainy, Ida says, growling. How dare they involve innocents? Suddenly, Kaminari and Todoroki arrive to help. Guys! What's going on? Asks Denki. This mold is growing out of control, says Deku. We can see that, but do you know who's behind it? Says Todoroki. We know it's a villain, but we don't know where they are, says the Ingenium Heir. Let's go and see if we can find them, says the number one hero. They start to rush out before being stopped by Tsurugami Kenji, the chief of police. Heroes, I have come with news from the police force. Woof. They have allowed you to use deadly force. The heroes look in shock. They hardly are granted to seriously injure a villain, let alone kill them. Chief Kenji, says Deku, are you sure? These villains have crossed the line. Woof. They would have been executed anyway. Understood, says Deku as the others nod before heading out. They look around to try and find the villains. Look everywhere, says Ida. They must answer for their crimes. Suddenly, the ground begins to get soft as Kawakasu comes up from the ground. NN. Ga. KO, she grunts. I think we found one, says Denki. It's likely that she's not the one manipulating the mold. I'll go find them, says Deku. I'll come with you, says Todoroki as they rush off. Kawakasu looks at Denki and Ida with evil eyes. Kia. Ya. NCK, she grunts, expressing her desire to kill them before sinking back into the ground. Here we go, says Denki as he grabs a sword. Denki and Ida prepare for Kawakasu's attack. They look around, trying to figure out where she is. Suddenly, she jumps out and kicks Ida in the chest before sinking back into the ground. OF, he says before holding his chest. Ida, are you okay? Says Denki. He notices part of his chest piece starts to melt. What the heck? It must be her quirk, says Ida as he discards a piece of armor. I can just imagine what that can do if it touches one's skin. Kawakasu pokes her head out of the ground, like a crocodile seeking its prey, and dashes toward them. Crap, she's coming. Ida tries to run away, only to have the villain kick him in the legs, making the armor melt just like the chest piece. Ida, calls out Denki. Kaminari, get in one of the buildings. Save yourself. It's going to come for me, since I'm already injured, he says as Kawakasu comes back for another round. Suddenly, Denki smirks. Cues JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Golden Wind OST, Bucciarati's theme. Ida, I have a plan. He then starts dashing away from the location, much to Ida's shock. What the hell are you doing, Kaminari? He says in bewilderment. Suddenly, Denki reaches a drop-off and jumps off. WH what? So this villain can track us underground, no matter where we are. Huh? It's a terrifying ability. However, do you know where I am? Suddenly, Kawakasu pokes her head out of the ledge and sees the electricity user in front of her. Heh, so you didn't know where we are, as I suspected. He covers his hands in electricity before punching her repeatedly. Eri. Kawakasu screams in pain. Arrivederci. Denki gives her one last punch to the face, making her retreat underground. He then holds onto the ledge and pulls himself up. Kaminari, what happened to the villain? Asks Ida. I just gave her a little shock, says Denki with a confident smile. He starts to help him up. Let's get you back to the base. Underground. Kawakasu starts hyperventilating as she looks at her face to see blood. My NGH, my KH, and my face. She uses a camera to check it out before grabbing her phone. Nay, Amai? Amai picks up from a rooftop where she was standing. Kawakasu, is that you? Amai? I honestly am scared. My F-face, she says in broken up speech. Kawakasu, calm down. Just explain what happened. Tis the blonde boy. He H-it my face. I'm bleeding. I see. So they're proving stronger than I thought, she says to herself. Listen, Kawakasu, don't be afraid. Your quirk will get the job done. And afterwards, I'll give you a good treat. She hangs up before an ice ridge appears next to her. Cues Bleach OSD Pleasure Combat. We found you, villain, says Todoroki as he and Deka hop off the ridge and onto the building. You're going to pay for your crimes. The half-cold, half-hot user freezes the lower half of her body. "So, you think you can take me down, huh?" says Amai with a sick smile before mold form around her waist. That's when they saw the most shocking thing ever. The villainess ripped her upper half free from her frozen part. The two heroes look in shock. "What are you doing? You'd kill yourself rather than be captured," says Deku. "I'm not dead. My quirk allows me to manipulate mold, but I can also form it around my body to stop my blood vessels, which allows my move around, even if I've been hacked to pieces." She slices her arm off and does the same thing, making it move on its own and punch at the two heroes. They dodge and attack. Delaware smash. Deku flicks a shockwave at Amai, who slithers out of the way. "Burn away," says Todoroki as he launches a fireball at her. Amai ducked behind cover, vanishing from their sight. Deku looks around to see she has vanished. Damn it, she got away. Suddenly, the arm that Amai severed before grabs Todoroki by the neck. Ack! Gah! Todoroki tries to pry it off only to see mold form around his neck. Amai chuckles as she appears from behind a smokestack. "Your friend is going to die now, and you'll be joining him," she says with her sick smile. "I've won. Let him go and I'll let you go free," says Deku. "Never. Don't get so cocky, brat." "Fine. Then I'll just end you here," he says before pressing a button. Cues JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Golden Wind, OST, Giorno's theme. In the words of my college roommate, this guy's about to get screwed. Suddenly, a needle pops out of Amai's head. She screams in agony. Todoroki told us that Momo made us a special object that can make anything we wish through thinking. I shot an invisible disc at you with my Delaware smash, and it stuck to your head. He starts walking towards Amai, who gets scared. "Wait, I thought you said you'd let me go." "Oh, please. Did you really think someone like you deserves mercy? A rotting piece of crap like you?" "Wah! You sick bastard," she yells as she lunges for Deku. That's when it happened. The number one hero unleashed a lengthy barrage of punches, power with one for all, breaking all the bones in her body. MUDA, 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 MUDA. MUDA, 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 MUDA. MUDA, 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 MUDA. MUDA, 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 MUDA. WRRRYYYYYYYYYYYYYYY. MUDA, 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 MUDA. MUDA, 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 MUDA. MUDA. He delivers a final punch that launches her into a garbage truck, which had the kanji for burnable trash pickup, Mon, Wed, Friday. He looks to see Todoroki mold free, and all well. "Nice one, Deku," says the number 2 hero. "You went plus ultra on her ass." He, "Oh yeah," says Deku. Kawakasu lurks around, wondering about Amai. Suddenly, she notices the mold has dissipated. "What? The mold's gone," she says with shock. "Does that mean—" Ida and Denki look in amazement. "They did it," says Denki. Deku and Todoroki were able to defeat the mold quirk. Kawakasu starts to rise behind them, earning their attention. "Looks like the other villain has returned," says Ida, getting ready. The villainess starts to shake furiously. "Tisi, Amai, you rotting scum," she says. "I only followed you because you seemed smart. Heh, guess I was wrong." She spits on the ground. "Now I'll defeat these two all by myself." She dashes at the two and launches a punch. The heroes dodge, making her hit the ground, liquefying it. Suddenly, her punches start to become faster with each second. "How is she able to move so fast?" says Ida before looking at her style. He notices her elbows. She's hitting her elbows against the ground, giving it elasticity and adding recoil to her punches. It's like a boxer using the ropes for the same reason. Kawakasa growls loud. Oh, it is. She cries out as she punches Ida and Denki all around. Take this. She goes for one final punch, only to have Ida counter with a kick to the gut. Oof. She glares at the two. You two are tough, but it won't help you any bit. She goes back underground, making Denki go for his sword. She's going to try and surprise us. However, she doesn't know I have a plan, says Denki with a smirk. Ida, just tell me where she's coming and I'll take care of the rest. League of Villains hideout. Q's Inuyasha, OSD, the Soul Power. Cross with the Demon Kings. Stands in a big empty room. He then stretches his arms out in front of him. Kamizuna Erisher, Divine Sandstorm. He yells as his arms are covered in wind that spins violently and shreds the area around him. The attack begins to die down as Crossel looks at his handiwork. Now, I'll be able to defeat those heroes. Belial then proceeds to walk into the room. Ah, Master Belial, he says before bowing. To what do I owe the pleasure of seeing you here? Shigaraki and Lord Aloser wanted me to tell you that we'll be keeping you on standby. You're our strongest warrior after our lord after all. I see. Thank you, Master Belial. He bows before returning to his training. Belial leaves the room. Meanwhile, the other villains are looking at the handiwork of Amai and Kawakasu. So they killed Amai, says Shigaraki. I'm shocked they were allowed to use deadly force. But meh, I was going to kill them anyways. So, what shall we do if they're defeated? Asks Dabi. Simple. Go after Midoriya's loved ones, he says as he shows a pic of Ochako and Eri. I'm up for the challenge, says Compress. The job's yours, Compress. Don't disappoint me. As you wish, Shigaraki, he says as he goes to get ready. Streets of Mizurufu cues Juni Tyson OSD pressure. Kawakasu continues to circle them, trying to find where they are. Suddenly, Denki runs around, averting her attention. There you are, she says as she swims after him. In the process, she begins to drag everything down with her. Lampposts, street signs, and even parked cars. The stun gun hero continues to run until the ground below him softens and becomes as water. What the? He falls underground, but not before he slices a lamppost with his sword, making it fall into the ground as well. Kawakasu stops before smiling. Did you really think I didn't plan for you to try and divert my attention? She says, smiling. I already know your location. Denki notices parts of his skin starting to melt like mud. What the heck? You see, when I get closer to my prey, their skin will turn to mud just like the pavement. She gets closer to him and smirks. Now you're within my range. Time for you to die. She winds her fist back until Denki smiles and slices the tires of a car near him. Cues JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. All-Star Battle OSD. Hierophant green/theme of Noriaki Kakyoin. You know, you really messed up when you started dragging other stuff underground, especially when you dragged the cars down. He quickly covers his ears as the tires explode with a deafened sound, blowing out Kawakasa's eardrums. GH, Kawakasu yells in pain. I was waiting for you to try this idea. You really messed up. Oh, wait. You probably can't hear me now. Denki starts heading up to the surface. Damn you. I still know where you are. Kawakasu lunges up with her leg, only to get it run over by an ambulance. On my leg. She quickly rolls to the sidewalk as other emergency vehicles arrive. She pants in fear. What's happening? Where'd he go? Denki walks up and stands a couple feet in front of her. Now to finish you off. The villain snarls as she sees a young boy near the hospital and grabs him. The boy gasps in fear. Stay back. I'll kill him. Denki stays back. Good. Hey, brat. You're coming with me. Suddenly, she sees Denki walking closer to her. What are you doing, dumbass? I told you to stay back. You think I won't kill the kid? Try me. Suddenly, the kids disappear from her grip, and a small lightning bolt pinned her hand to her neck. What? But how? Lighting moves at 1/1000 th a second. It's way faster than you. Seko tries to desperately get free as her neck starts to liquefy. "This can't happen," she says, her speech starting to get garbled. She then stumbles and falls into a conveniently placed garbage truck that then begins to drive away. A/N. It just works. Don't question it. Denki takes a deep breath as his skin turns back to normal. Deku, Todoroki, and Ida manage to meet up with him. "Kaminari, you defeated her?" asks Todoroki. "Yep. Took the trash out," he says with a smile as they start to head back. Another win for the heroes. "Although, I think it's far from over," says Ida. Deku calls the others to meet him at his apartment. They all arrive at noon as the number one hero begins to tell them their plan. "Thanks for coming over, guys. I need to tell you guys something," he says. "What seems to be the problem at Area?" asks Ida. "When we were dealing with those two villains, I picked this up on one of them," he says as he shows a sheet of paper. "It's got the mark of the League of Villains." "What? But why would they keep it on themselves?" "That's just lazy," says Jairu. "I was thinking the same until I saw the same sheet of paper on that other girl." The others look in shock. "You think the two are related?" asks Todoroki. "It's a huge possibility, which is why we need to be on guard." They nod as they head out. Ochako and Deka hug. "I'll make sure you're safe. No one will hurt you." "Thanks, Deka-kun, but I can look after myself too." Eri joins in. "Yeah, Papa, we can look after ourselves," she says with a smile. Deku returns a smile. "Thanks, guys." League of Villains HQ. Cues JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Golden Wind OST. Assassinio/Assassination. La Squadra theme. Shigaraki sits in his room, scratching his neck in irritation and annoyance. He had just heard about Amai and Kawakasu. So even the two pieces of trash couldn't complete a simple task? Pathetic low-level thugs. He punches a wall in rage, making a hole in it. After he cools down, he then walks out of the room to the main room. He notices Mr. Compress has left. So Compress left to go after the two? "Yes," says Dabi. "I'm confident he can capture them and break Midoriya." Tamura chuckles. And that's when we'll have the high score this time," he says with a sick smile. A Loser walks into the room with Belial. "Shigaraki, if I might make a suggestion, I can send Belial out to help with the capture of the two women." The number one villain ponders the idea and smiles. "Very well. If Compress fails on the slightest chance, you may intervene." "Thank you," says Belial as he heads out. Outside of a restaurant, Bakugo has lunch with Kirishima, Deku, and Kaminari. They just talk and chat about their days. Bakugo notices Deku looking around. "Hey, Deku, why are you so on edge?" "I just feel a bit worried with all villain attacks as of late," he says. "Come on, man. It seems a bit much. We know the League of Villains are still out there, but you need to chill," says Kirishima. "I understand, but it's my duty as the number one hero." Suddenly some guy bumps into Bakugo's chair, making him spill a drop of soda on the man's white. The man looks in shock before glaring at Bakugo. "You bastard. What do you think you're doing?" "Ah," says Bakugo, looking in irritation. The man grabs his collar. "This suit costs 4,000,000 yen. You think you can just pay for it?" "Huh." Bakugo snaps, launching an explosive uppercut to his jaw. The man falls on the ground, twitching. "You must be an enemy," says Bakugo, perking Kirishima. The two start kicking the man on the ground. "You an enemy?" "Huh. Well, are you?" Kaminari takes a sip before joining the fun. After a couple seconds, he stops and realizes. "Hey, wait," says the electricity user. "I don't think this guy's an enemy. He's out. He's just a normal person." "Oops," says Kirishima sheepishly. "My bad." "TC, well, he started it," says Bakugo in his normal tone. The group laughs as they walk away and head on back. At Deka's apartment, same time, Ochako rests in her room, watching TV, when she hears a rattling. She gets up and walks into the room, seeing the refrigerator open. Cues JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Diamond is Unbreakable OSD, Sign of Fear. "Eri, did you leave the fridge open?" She doesn't hear her voice. Weird. She goes to close it and notices a cup of coffee on the counter. Where'd that come from? Suddenly, she hears a voice. Ochako Uraraka, hero name, Uravity. The fiancé to the number 1 hero, Izuku Midoriya aka Deku. She looks behind to see Mr. Compress, reclining on a chair. Uraraka looks with fear and grabs a knife. What are you doing in my house? Compress smiles as he pulls out a small marble. That little girl is inside this small marble, and you'll be coming with me. And if I refuse, Uraraka says with slight confidence. Compress throws a marble at her and snaps his fingers, sucking her into the marble. Too easy, he says with a smile as he sips the coffee. Now, to see how Midoriya will act, Deku and his friends start heading back from lunch, laughing and sharing their funny moments. Bakugo just walks stoically, acting all tsundere-ish. So, Deku, asks Kirishima, what do you think Eri and Ochako are doing? The one for all user chuckles. Probably waiting for me to get home, he says. They start to near the apartment, only to notice the door was open. Is that supposed to be open? Says Kaminari in shock. Deku rushes in worried to see Eri and Ochako gone. No. This can't be happening, he says before looking at a note. He picks it up and reads it. Dear Izuku Midoriya, I have your girlfriend and your child. If you want them back, meet me at Tatooine Station. If you don't show up in 30 minutes, I'll kill them both. Signed, Mr. Compress. Deku looks with fear and rage. His hands tremble as his friends look. How dare they? They went after the 2 most important people in my life. They'll pay. Kirishima puts a hand on his friend's shoulder. It's okay, Midoriya. We'll help you, says a hardening hero. Yeah, we'll stop those villains, says Kaminari. Those bastards will definitely pay when I get my hands on them, says Bakugo, pounding his fists with mini explosions. Thanks, guys, he says as he touches his wristwatch, making his costume come out and cover his body. Let's go. Tatooine Station. Cue's Guardians of the Galaxy OST. Ronin the Accuser theme. Dr. Compress stands at the station, holding the 2 small glass marbles. He chuckles to himself. When he arrives, I'll capture with my quirk, just like I did these 2, he says as he tosses the 2 into the air and catches them. Suddenly, he sees the group nearing his location. Time to spring the trap. He walks away as he tosses one of the orbs, making it release its contents. The others head up the platform and see a shadowy figure starting to stumble away. You... Stop, says Deku as he rushes forward and grabs the figure by the shoulder, only to look in shock as he had just grabbed Eri. The young girl was completely out of it, her eyes closed. What? But how? Says Kirishima in shock. Damn it! Where are you? Yells Bakugo. Get out here. Don't mess with us, says Kaminari, his hand sparking with electricity. They hear chuckling as Mr. Compress walks out. It's been a while, wouldn't you say? He says, smiling behind his mask. Deku glares at him. You hurt Eri, you sick bastard. His body starts to glow from One for All. Cues JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. All-Star Battle OST, Heritage to the Future, theme of Jotaro Kujo. One for All, 20% shoot style. He dashes at the villain, enraged, and launches a kick at his head. Compress dodges nonchalantly as Bakugo charges from behind. Die, you bastard, yells the hot-headed hero as he launches an explosion-powered punch in his direction. Compress takes the blast to the face, making his reel back. Damn it, I can't see. He stumbles back as Kirishima rushes forward, his arms hardened. Take this, he yells as he punches him repeatedly. Aura, 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 aura. He finishes with a hard punch to the gut, sending him into the air. Denki sees the airborne villain and prepares his quirk. Now you're mine, he says as he charges his fist with electricity. Overdrive. He punches him in the gut again, making the volts course through his body and send him flying into a sign, knocking him out. Suddenly, the orb holding Ochako breaks, releasing her from her prison. Ochako, yells Deku as he hugs her. The zero-gravity user smiles as she returns the hug. You saved me, Deku, she says. What about Eri? She's okay. She's on the bench resting. Kirishima and Denki tie up Compress as Bakugo checks on Eri, who starts to wake up. Feeling better, kid? She smiles. Yep. Thanks, Kachan, she says. Bakugo blushes before turning away. There were only 3 people who he let call him that name: Deku, Denki, and Eri. The group is about to head back until they hear an evil chuckling. Q's Dragon Ball FighterZ OST, planet Namek destroyed. They look around to see Belial walk out. They get into a fighting stance as Ochako and Eri take cover. So, you are the new number 1. Izuku Midoriya, aka Deku, he says as he observes his opponents. You all seem powerful, but you won't be able to beat me. He gets into a stance. You're one cocky bastard, say Bakugo, his hands crackling with many explosions. I'll wipe that smirk off your face. You really think you can beat Belial of the 4 Demon Kings, says the villain. The 4 demons, says Denki with a smile. So I get to kick the ass of another one of you guys. So, you're Kaminari, the owner of Rajin's gift. Prepare to join your ancestors, he says as he lunges toward the group. Belial charges at the heroes, who get ready. Denki aims his finger and launches a small lightning blast at him. The villain jumps over the attack and kicks at Denki. Detroit Smash, yells Deku as he punches Belial in the face, sending him back. Belial smirks as he wipes the blood from his cheek. Not bad, just like All Might, but it will do you no good. He sees Bakugo, using his explosions to launch him towards him. Dai, the explosion maniac yells as he lunges at him, only to get kicked hard in the gut. Oof. Bakugo, calls out Kirishima as he hardens his skin and repeatedly punches at Belial's chest. The villain doesn't even wince before backhanding him. All of you are pathetic, he says. The world has really gone down if you are heroes. Now to use my greatest technique. Suddenly, a series of long tendrils come out his back. Heat control mode. The tendrils lunge at Kirishima, oozing some mysterious liquid on him. The liquid burns his hardened skin. Ow! That's hot! Kirishima jumps back, shaking his arms. Geez, what was that? I can heat my body temperature to 500 degrees Celsius. As a result, my blood is as hot as lava. He looks to Kaminari. You'd be a disappointment to your ancestors. You keep saying that. What are you talking about? He says, bewildered. Belial smiles as he proceeds to tell him. Flashback, Mizurufu, Japan, 25 years ago. A group of heroes try to fight off the 4 demons, only to be overwhelmed. One of the heroes looks to their leader, a man in his 50s with blonde hair and blue eyes. Mr. Kaminari, what's the plan? The leader looks to the civilians trying to get away. He looks at a blonde girl among them before turning to the villains, his body coursing with lightning. Hold your ground. We must buy time for the civilians to escape. He unleashes the lightning through the ground and shocks the 4 villains. Alosa notices his feet starting harden and become a stone before scoffing. This will not hold me, he says before breaking free, losing some of the skin around his legs. He continues to march forward. Q's Bleach OSD torn apart. Kaminari looks to his group, lightning coursing through his body. Everyone fall back. I'll buy you time, he says as he walks forward. No, Mr. Kaminari calls out another of the heroes before his friends grab him. We gotta go, man. They run away as Kaminari's lightning starts to increase and cover his entire body. He sees the image of the blonde girl smiling. Sorry, baby girl. Daddy's gotta go now. Give my new grandson my regards. Suddenly, the 4 demons lunge at him, only to have the lightning explode in a 5-yard radius. The villains become full stone as Kaminari falls to the ground. A hulking figure rushes over. Tashinori Yagike, All Might. Mr. Kaminari, are you okay? He calls out. He then sees the lightning user's condition. His body was burned badly, his chest a dark color. The man looks to the young number 1 hero with hope. All Might. Become the greatest hero the world has ever known. There will be great challenges for you, but I trust you'll be able to defeat them. Kaminari smiles before his eyes shutter closed. All Might bows in reverence for the fallen hero. I will, for you and my master, he says as he carries his body to be buried. In flashback, Belial chuckles as the other look in shock. Denki feels increased hatred for the villain. You killed my grandfather, He says in rage, "You'll pay for hurting my family." Cues Overlord OP1, Clatanoia by Ox-T. Suddenly, Denki's body is covered in lightning as he dashes forward. Belial is shocked by the lightning user's sudden increase in power. Denki responds with a punch to the gut, sending the villain back. "Damn you," he says as he fires his veins at Denki. The number 5 hero covers his hands in lightning, forming blades, and he slashes through them with very little effort. The 500-degree blood evaporates as it touches the lightning. Denki then aims his finger and fires some small lightning blasts toward Belial, who jumps away and tries to escape. "Oh, no you don't," yells Bakugo as he jumps in front of him and punches the villain in the gut using his quirk, sending him flying toward Kirishima. "Take this." The Red Riot unleashes some hardened punches, making him double over in pain. Deku jumps into the air, supported by Ochako's quirk, his body glowing from one for all and his legs stretched up into the air. "Now, Ochako," he calls to his fiancée, who touches her fingers together. "Release!" Deku falls toward the ground, launching a huge axe kick to the guy on the ground, knocking the villain off his feet. Manchester Smash. Belial is dazed a bit before looking up to see Denki, preparing a final attack. He claps his hands before pulling them away, creating a stream of lightning. "Time to end this. For my grandfather and my mother, twin maximized technique, chain dragon lightning." He fires the attack towards Belial, bathing him in electricity. "No, this can't happen," he yells as his body becomes rock and crumbles away. Denki smirks. "Guess I got a little carried away," he says as he and his friends call the police. "Hello, yes police," says Deku. "This is Izuku Midoriya, hero named Deku. I'd like to report that Belial of the 4 Demon Kings has been defeated." The police department arrive at the train station, along with their scientific division. Mei and Kaguro supervise the loading of Belial's fragments into the vans. The police arrest Mr. Compress and take him away. "So, the League of Villains are at it again, and the 4 Demon Kings show up too," says Nao Mesa. "Seems a bit too convenient, wouldn't you say?" "You think they're working together, woof," says Kenji. "It's a huge possibility," says Nao Mesa, writing up observations. Deku and Ochako talk as Eri starts to wake up. "Papa, Mama," she says in a tired tone. The others look with happiness to see the young girl okay. "Feeling better, Eri?" asks Deku. "I'm hungry," she says with a small smile. Everyone chuckles. "Why don't we head home and make something for you?" says Ochako. Eri nods as they head home. League of Villains hideout. Cues Naruto OST Predator. Shigaraki hears about the failure of both Mr. Compress and Belial. He then punches the wall in annoyance. Damn it, why are they all so weak? He starts to seethe in anger before looking at Deku's picture. "I guess if you want something done..." He grabs the picture and makes it turn to dust. "You gotta do it yourself." A Loser walks in. "Forgive me, I didn't know that Belial would fail," he says, bowing. "It wasn't your fault," he says with an evil smile. "It's all because of that little brat. I believe it's time we make our presence known." After 30 minutes, the remaining villains gather as Shigaraki announces their plan. "So this is it," asks Dabi, "the final stage." "Yes, the heroes will know true fear, and we will crush everyone's spirits and hope. The League of Villains will reign supreme." All the villains cheer as Shigaraki reveals a Deca dummy. "And we will start by killing their favorite number 1 hero." He motions to Dabi, who smiles evilly before firing a blast of blue flame, burning the dummy to nothing. "Now, let's go mess some stuff up." The villains cheer as they walk out of the base, disguised, and into the streets. Aloser smiles. "Soon, the world will know the power of the great Aloser of the 4 Demon Kings," he says as he looks in his long coat to show a mask and red stone. Deku and Ochako's apartment. Cues JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Golden Wind OST Dawn. Deku and Ochako stand in the kitchen, getting the ingredients ready for Eri's dinner. They start by turning on the stove, a pot of water on the eye. "Now let's begin," says Ochako as she puts some tomato sauce and sausage in a separate pot. She starts mixing them together as Deku starts cutting up some onions, garlic, and bell peppers to put into the sauce pot. Ochako sees the water pot boiling and puts some pasta in the pot. Eri watches from the kitchen in excitement and anticipation. "I can't wait to taste this dish," she says with a bright smile. The two heroes look back to her and return her smile. "We'll make it really delicious for you," she says as she finishes the sauce and merges it with the pasta, mixing them together. She then puts it on 3 plates. "Bon appetit," says Deku with a smile as he and Ochako sit down and dig in. Eri takes him on her fork and eats it. "It's delicious," she says as she continues to eat. "We're glad you like it," says Ochako as she drinks some tea. "I'm just glad you girls are all okay from the incident," says Deku. "I don't know what I would have done if you two had gotten hurt." "Ah, Deku, that's so sweet of you," say the gravity user, who then kisses his cheek, making her boyfriend turn a deep shade of pink. Streets of Kamino Ward. Cues Enter Sandman by Metallica. Shigaraki and his crew of villains walk down the streets in their disguises. Alosu looks around at the civilians. Crossel, prepare to use all of your strength to defeat our enemies. "As you wish, Lord Aloser," he says. Shigaraki looks to one of his subordinates, his face and body obscured by a hooded cloak. "The heroes will be coming to stop us. Step behind, intercept, and destroy them with your quirk. I will make sure they die slowly and painfully," says the mystery villain before heading to the rooftops. "Now, time to play the game," Shigaraki says with an evil smile. The two lovers cuddle on the sofa, enjoying each other's time and eating some pizza. Denki kisses Jairu's cheek, earning him a smile. "So jamming way, ready for our wedding next week," she says, stroking his leg. "You know it," he say with his trademark grin. "It'll be a night to remember." They kiss as the news comes on. This is an urgent message. "The League of Villains are attacking," yells a newswoman. TH2 looked to the TV to see the rampant destruction and civilians being attacked and threatened by the League. "Those bastards," growls Denki. He stands up and goes to put on his hero uniform before seeing Jairu in hers. "Wait, Jairu, are you sure you want to come? I'm a hero like you. My job is to help others who can't help themselves." The electricity user smiles. "All right, let's head out, and we'll do so in style," he says with a smirk. Jairu smirks back. "You mean we get to test out them?" They walk to the garage and open the door. Cues Battle Without Honor or Humanity by Tamasu Hote. The two walk in and see 2 covered objects. They remove the sheets to reveal 2 motorcycles in their trademark colors. Jairu's was a dark purple, had ear jack designs on both sides, and under each it said Purple Haze. Denki's was a bright and vivid yellow with black lightning bolt-like streak on both sides and the words "The Stake" on the sides. Hatsum had made them as congratulations for engagement. She had equipped each bike with an arsenal that would amplify and aid their quirks. Denki looks at his yellow one. Hatsum did a great job with her early wedding gifts. "Yep," says Jairu as she looks at the words on the side. "She knows me so well." The two get on their respective rides. Now let's see how they purr. They rev them up, hearing a nice smooth mix of a whirring and standard motorcycle sounds. Denki's tires are covered with electricity, and Jairu's bike has 2 speakers in the front. "Now that's a nice sound," Jairu says with a smile. "Oh, yeah. Now, let's ride, babe," Denki says with a smile. Jairu nods as they speed off to the battlefield. Streets. Some small-time heroes try aiding in the evacuation of civilians and fight of some of the villains. One of them, a burly guy with blonde hair, uses his ridiculous strength to knock out some of them villains. "Huh, such small fry not even worth my time," he says. "Don't get too cocky," says another hero who uses quirk to make the villains sink into the ground. "Oh, come on, they can't even hurt me," he says, punching one to the ground. Suddenly they hear a voice. "Wanna bet?" Cues JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Golden Wind, OST, Magnetica, Risotto Nero's theme. A guy wearing a black cloak and black mask walks before the group. The two heroes feels his dangerous presence and step back a bit. "What happened to that confidence you had before? I guess you're all talk," he scoffs. The burly hero gets mad. "Shut up. The one who should be shaking in their boots is you. Scum," he yells as he rushes forward. "No. Don't. We don't know what his quirk does." "Doesn't matter. I'll end him in a matter of seconds." The villain looks on stoically. "I see. The way you're rushing toward me means you're a close-range fighter. His eyes glow red, and suddenly the burly hero stops and grabs his throat, choking. Your range is possibly 2 to 3 meters, but as long as I know that, I can easily kill you. What the hell? My throat? Suddenly, he throws up a torrent of blood and razor blades. Blee! What the? How'd they blurt get in my body? He kneels down, glaring at the villain. Damn you! Get over here! He yells as he runs at the guy again. This fight is over, the villain says as he clenches his fist, causing the hero's body to be brutally ripped apart by sewing needles out of every part of his body. The Earth hero looks on in disbelief. What was that? I didn't even see him do anything. The villain walks towards him. Now it's your turn, he says as he swipes in front of the hero's face. Die. Suddenly, a pair of scissors appear in a man's throat before opening, breaking through his skin and slicing his jugular vein. The hero chokes and gargles on his own blood before collapsing dead on the pavement. The villain continues to walk down the street. Now, who else wants to feel the power of my Quirk Metallica? Classic present mic intro. Villain name, Jishako Hagain. Quirk Metallica. He can manipulate the iron in a person's blood to craft sharp and dangerous object to attack his opponent. He can easily kill them in one attack, but sometimes he likes to whittle the opponent's health down. Prolonged exposure to his quirk can result in blood turning yellow and asphyxiation due to the loss of iron in the blood. Two villains start destroying buildings and batting heroes away. One of them with a red mohawk chuckles as he fires sharp barbs from his wrists at some heroes, severely wounding them. This is awesome, he says. With Shigaraki leading us, we can become the top dogs. Damn right, says his friend who screeches loudly, weakening building and making them fall. Suddenly, he gets sent into a building by unseen force. Oof! What the hell? Says a Barb Quirk user. Cues the Mandalorian theme. Suddenly, he sees a figure walking towards him from the dust. The figure is revealed to be Deku, holding a young child in his arms, their leg wounded. No, not you. You filthy scumbags won't be getting away with this, says the number one hero as he sets the child down and gets into a stance. The villain, in fear, starts firing his quirk wildly. You won't defeat me, he says, only to have Deku dash around him, using one for all on his feet. Stop jumping around, son of a dash. His insult is cut off as he is kicked into a building. Now, where's Shigaraki? Demands Deku. The bar villain grits his teeth before lunging at him with 2 bar blades. I'll cut you, bastard. He unleashes a barrage of slashes at him, only to get them broke by a Delaware smash. His eyes go wide as Deku winds back for a punch. Detroit smash. He launches a hard punch to the gut, sending him into a light pole, knocking him out. TCH, you waste your life following Shigaraki. Unaware to him, the Scream villain came to and prepared to unleash a loud screech until he hears a growing rumbling. He turns around and his eyes go wide. Cues FGO Rider Sakata Kentoki MP theme. In the distance, Denki rides his motorcycle into the city with a trail of lightning. He sees the villain and smiles. Let's hit the road, he says before pressing a button, making it go faster and the trail bigger. He does a wheelie as he near him. Golden drive. His front wheel hits the man in the face, making him dazed. Denki screeches to a halt and points his index at him in a finger gun. Good night. Suddenly, a big lightning blast erupts from the ground under the Scream villain, making him fall to the ground unconscious. Deku smirks. Nice ride, Kaminari, he says as one minor villain tries to snipe them from far away. He got him, he says with an evil smile, only to hear another rumbling. He turns around to see Gyro on her bike. Nay. Gyro plugs her ear jacks into her bike, unleashing a precision blast at the villain, sending him backwards and knocking him out before he hit the ground. Gyro joins up with the other two as they tie up the villains. Deku, have you seen any of our friends? She says. Nope, but I assume they're already here or on the way. The three advance to fight off more villains until a guy drops in front of them. Jishako Hagain. Cues, FGO OST enemies. Well, this is a pleasant surprise. The number 1 and number 4 heroes come. Just in time for me to slaughter them, he says as he licks his lips. The heroes stand guard. Jishaku Hagain, wanted for murder and larceny, says Deku. So you're with these scumbags as well? All is for Lord Shigaraki's plans. He will never be stopped by you, he says as he walks closer. Be careful, guys. His quirk is a deadly one, able to damage someone from the inside out, says the number 1 hero, his body glowing green. He's going to be a tough guy to beat, says Denki as he starts to spark with electricity. Doesn't matter. At the end of the day, he's just another petty criminal, says Jairu, her ear jacks at the ready. Jishaku starts to glow blue. Time to end you all. Building top, a Loser and Cross will stand looking over city in chaos. The leader smiles. Soon, everything will be ours, he says as he looks to his underling. Crossel, deal with the one who holds Raijin's gift. As you wish, Lord Aloser, he bows before dashing on the rooftops. Even Shigaraki will bow to me, and then I'll kill him in front of everyone, says Aloser as he pulls out a stone mask and puts a red gem in the center. He puts it on his face, as spikes warp around and secure it to his face. Suddenly, light shines everywhere. Woya. The light slowly dims as Aloser's mask crumbles off. He smiles evilly. Now, I have become the ultimate being. Jairu put her ear jacks into the ground to send shock waves toward Jishaku, who dodges barely. Damn, you're a tough one, he says with a smirk until Deku jumps up and axe kicks downwards. Manchester smash. The villain dodges again as the number 1 hero's leg hits the pavement, making a crater. He's so agile, can't get a clean shot. Jishaku makes a waving motion with his hand, making metal spears fly towards the group. Look out, yells Denki as he and his friends jump out of the way. So, he can use his quirk to fire projectiles, says Jairu. Quite the annoyance. Now, time for you to die, says the villain as he clutches his fist, making Jairu hunch over. Kyuka, are you okay? Yells Denki. Jairu ends up puking a hail of needles. Blee. She starts to gasp for air and hold her throat. Jishaku smiles. What's the matter? Feeling faint, he says much to Denki's rage. You bastard. He lunges at him only to have rebar puncture in his legs. Ah! TSK. So brash. He looks to Deku, bloodlust in his eyes. Now time to kill the number 1 hero. He clutches his fist and something unexpected happens. With Tomura and the other villains, Q's fate /0 OSD, fate to 0. Tomura looks over the destruction of the city, laughing evilly. Ha. Yes, everything is falling into place. All I just need is that little brat's head. He looks to 2 new villains. One was a hulking brute with a wolf head, blue skin, eagle talons, and a crocodile tail, wearing a trench coat. His name was Chojuro Kaneki Chimera. The other was a girl with long red hair and blue eyes. She wore a purple blouse under a blue dress. Her name was Karuka Sakiete Slice. That's where you 2 come in. Bring me the one they call Deku. If you fail, you'll end up like your 2 friends. The 2 glare at Shigaraki. He had already killed 2 of their comrades. Their leader 9 was killed as the other 3 were being arrested, and the other Hoyo Makahara, who attacked him when they were being broken out, and Tomura revealed their leader's death. Know the Shigaraki. After this is over, you're a dead man, says Slice. You're the worst kind of evil, says Chimera as they leave. Dabi walks up. Yo, boss, is it cool if I go kill some heroes? Oh, please do. Kill any you like, he says with an evil smile. All right, he says walking away. Time to deal with that pesky number 2 hero. Streets. Jishaku looks in shock as his quirk fails to activate. Huh, but how? He notices a dart in his arm. What the hell is this? Suddenly a voice calls out. Your quirk's been canceled, Jishaku. A figure drops down from above. Deku looks to see Himiko Toga standing in front of him. Toga? He noticed her change in costume. She wore a skin-tight red bodysuit and her mask with tubes. Jishaku smirks. So Little Miss Blood Fetish comes crawling back. Thought you were dead along with the lizard. Toga glares at him as she wields a new knife. Its blade was red and was longer than her other one. No one insults my friends and lives to tell about it. She looks to Deku. Do we need him alive? Deku shakes his head. He's a dangerous criminal. Way worse than Shigaraki. He'll be executed anyways. Toga smiles semi-crazily. Then that means I don't have to hold back. Cues Kara no Kikai OST, Ryugi Shiki's theme. She kneels down on one knee before closing her eyes. Time to use my new ability, Depth Perception. Her eyes glow blue as she sees the body of Jishaku covered in lines. She dashes forward as the evil villain waves his hands. Die! Sharp metal objects come flying towards her. Toga starts doing twirls and flips, avoiding them. Deku and his friends look in shock. She's moving faster and more agile, giving her the ability to dodge the projectiles, says Denki. Jishaka becomes more frantic and angry. Stop jumping and die already. He starts to throw bigger items her way, only to get them slashed in half by Toga's blade. Deku starts to cheer her on. Go, Toga. You can do it. Toga smiles as she gets close to Jishaku, who grabs a knife and duels with Toga. You aren't going to kill me, he says with a hint of fear. He wildly slashes at Toga, who dodges without effort. Why won't you die? Because Deku believes in me. Spinner believes in me. I can defeat you because I have people who trust me. The villain stabs at her face. He smirks for a second until he sees Toga griping the blade in her jaw. She then knocks the blade out of Jishaku's hand. This is the end. Jishaka looks in fear as Toga gracefully slashes at him, cutting him in the throat and chest. No, this shouldn't have happened, he says as blood gushes from his wounds. This is my declaration. Villains must pay for their crimes, she says as she swings the blood off the blade, and Jishaka's body falls to the ground. Somewhere else in the streets, Todoroki and Momo tie up some defeated villains. Let's move on, says the number 2 hero. Got it, says his girlfriend as they start to move on. Suddenly, blue flames rain around them. What the hell? Exclaims Todoroki. He hears a scream and looks to see Dabi kidnapping Momo. Let her go. You want her? Meet me up on the roof, brother. The hero's eyes widen. Who are you? Dabi ignores him and dashes away. Todoroki in pursuit. He follows him to a rooftop to see Dabi tie up Momo over a fire. Let her go, damn you. Win and I'll let her go. Lose and she get roasted. Who the hell are you? Dabi shakes his head while smirking. I thought you'd recognize your own brother, Shoto. Todoroki's eyes widen. No, Toya. Shoto and Dabi stare each other down. Their quirks start to activate. Toya, we don't have to do this. Come back to us, brother, says Shoto. Your brother is no more. I killed him, says Dabi. Now enough talk. We fight. Dabi's flames start to coat him and form armor. He then creates a sword of pure blue flames. He charges at Shoto and slashes. The number 2 hero blocks with his own flame sword. Momo looks on helpless. If I have to fight you, brother, says Shoto, then so be it. He kicked Dabi in the face before making a downward slash with his flame sword. Dabi dodges, only getting nicked in the arm by a spark. I see you're just as sharp as ever, the villain says with a smile. However, you'll still die like your precious Momo. Streets. Deku, Denki, and Jiraiya walk around searching for more villains. The villains haven't been showing up as often as they should be, says Denki. Feels like a trap, says Jiraiya. Suddenly, 2 familiar faces show. Slice and Chimera. Cues Let Me Hear You Scream by Ozzy Osbourne. Chimera chuckles as Slice's hair gets sharp. So the brats have come to stop us, says Chimera, getting into a stance. We'll make you pay for what you did to Nine and Mummy, says Slice as she launches her hair at them. The heroes dodge the attack as Deku flicks his fingers at them. Slice blocks the attack with her hair. You know, when you two escape, the police put a dead or alive bounty on you, says Denki. The money would probably cover my wedding, and then some. Jiraiya smirks. Okay, jamming way. Enough joking. Let's kick some ass. The 2 lovers charge at Slice as Deku fights Chimera. Detroit Smosh. Deku punches Chimera in the face, only to be countered by getting slammed to the ground. Gah! Nice try, brat, but I've gotten stronger since the last time we fought. Meanwhile, Denki tries firing some lighting blasts at Slice, who uses her hair to bat them away. Jaira jumps in and plugs her earphones into ground, unleashing some massive earthquakes. The female villain is knocked off balance as Denki fires a blast and knocks her into a diner. Quick, before she escapes, says Jairo as they rush in, leaving Deku to deal with Chimera. Now, I'll crush you like a twig, says the monstrous villain. I will defeat you in Shigaraki, says Deku in a fight stance. Diner. The couple walks in and search for Slice. Suddenly, she comes out from hiding and launches her hair at them. They dodge the attack, and the hairs hit a jukebox, cueing the song. Cues whirred up by the boss hoss and Kingsman like camera work. They engage in a full-out battle, Denki firing his lightning blast at her, only to have them absorbed by her hair. Jaira get up close and personal with a variety of hand-to-hand techniques. Denki blasts Slice into behind the counter, as she grabs a pan and tosses at them. Heads up, Denki, calls out Jairu. Denki looks too late to get hit in the face with the pan. Oof! Jairu jumps over the counter as Slice grabs a knife and slashes at her. The sound hero dodges the knife and grabs her arm before turning on the meat grinder next to them. She throws the knife in the grinder, which munches to nothing. Denki composes himself as Slice jumps back over the counter and grabs a hidden whip and launches it at him. Whitey! Denki dodges as Slice smirks. She used the whip to grab Jairo by the neck and tosses one end into the air, landing it into the grinder. Jairo tries to pull and tug it loose as it drags her toward the grinder. The electric hero tries to help her, but Slice blocks his way and pulls a gun on him. Firing randomly, Denki dodges the bullets and grabs her arm. He then aims the gun and fires at the whip before Jairu's head is over the grinder, getting her free. Denki knocks the gun out of her hand and punches her in the face, dazing her a bit. Jairu spins on the counter and kicks her in the face before Denki punches her one more time. Slice stands groggy and Denki charges and pushes her into the air as Jairu rushes by and pushes her down headfirst into meat grinder, which makes a sickening grating noise as it spits out a mass of ground-up villain hair and fabric. Jaira brushes her shoulder. Cut that, bitch, she remarks as the couple walks out with a fist bump. Streets cues adrenaline by Shinedown. Deku pants as Chimera continues his brutal assault. The villain punches Deku in the gut, making him reel a bit. Oh, come on. Is this all the number one hero has to offer? Says Chimera, licking his chops. I'll enjoy dining on your bones. He goes for the finishing blow, only to get blasted into a building. Geez, Deku, you really let the slag beat you, says a familiarly angry voice. Deku looks up to see Bakugo. Kachin, is that you? Keep it together, you damn nerd. Bakugo helps him up. Let's kick this guy's ass. They charge at Chimera and pull off their devastating combos. Deku flicks his fingers, sending Chimera back into an AP shot from Bakugo. Deku then jumps up and axe kicks the villain as Bakugo unleashes an explosive uppercut to the jaw. Deku finishes with roundhouse kick to the face, which sends him flying into a light post. How are you this strong? Says Chimera, getting tired and weak. That's called friendship, dummy, says Bakugo. Look it up. The explosive hero jumps up into the air and spins violently. Howitzer impact. He sends Chimera flying across the street, unconscious before he hit the ground. Heh, bang.